Amid escalating fears of all-out Iran-USA war across the Persian Gulf region, an IRGC-linked media outlet has issued a fresh and chillingly specific threat directly targeting American military forces positioned within the sovereign territory of allied Qatar. A prominent Telegram channel explicitly affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps publicly claimed to have precisely identified and geolocated a luxury hotel currently housing relocated U.S. troops and commanders operating within Doha. These menacing developments were urgently reported by Iran international correspondents, specifically citing the incendiary posts originating from the regime mouthpiece Sipa Pastran channel dedicated to psychological warfare operations. The provocative IRGC channel asserted that senior U.S. military commanders had been hastily relocated from their primary operational headquarters at Al-Udeid Air Base, specifically following credible intelligence about imminent security concerns and assassination threats. The threatening post further suggested that America had covertly moved its crown jewel Central Operations Room coordinating CENTCOM regional warfighting from the vulnerable massive airbase directly into this exposed luxury civilian hotel compound. IRGC-aligned regime media openly mocked this alleged defensive relocation maneuver as nothing more than a clumsy and desperate tactical repositioning, deliberately framing the move as glaring evidence revealing America's fundamental operational vulnerability throughout the theater. The menacing message also delivered explicit warnings declaring that hastily relocating critical military assets into densely populated civilian areas provides absolutely zero protection whatsoever against inevitable and precisely targeted Iranian ballistic missile retaliation campaigns. By publicly naming and doxing the specific Sheraton Hotel Grand Doha through satellite imagery and street view analysis, the IRGC brazenly signaled sophisticated real-time surveillance capabilities precisely calibrated to deter and expose U.S. interventionist preparations. This marked a sharp and unprecedented escalation from Tehran's earlier series of generalized Iranian warnings threatening American regional military infrastructure, which traditionally avoided pinpointing specific operational target identification throughout previous psychological operations. Al-Udeid Air Base, positioned in the Qatari desert, remains the largest and most strategically vital U.S. military facility throughout the entire Middle East, accommodating 10,000 personnel alongside B-52 bombers and F-35 squadrons just 300 kilometers from Iranian missile fields. Iran has repeatedly broadcast through official military channels that all exposed U.S. military bases scattered throughout the Middle East from Bahrain through Kuwait would immediately become priority ballistic missile targets should Tehran suffer direct attack from American or Israeli forces. In direct response to Tehran's cascade of explicit threats saturating state media, U.S. Central Command ordered non-essential personnel stationed across all vulnerable Mideast bases to conduct temporary precautionary evacuations to disperse high-value targets defensively. Earlier this week, Iranian and Qatari officials engaged in discussions against the backdrop of alarming reports that more than 2,000 protesters had been killed during clashes with security forces. Tehran's stark warnings coincided with a period of heightened tensions with Washington, largely driven by the ongoing domestic unrest and the international condemnation of Iran's crackdown on protesters. Amid Iran's unprecedented public threats specifically targeting U.S. allies hosting coalition bases, key Arab states successfully prevented imminent American attack plans against Tehran through frantic backchannel diplomacy, according to Wall Street Journal Repo. Saudi Arabia, alongside Qatar, Oman, and Egypt, urgently warned Washington through classified communications that launching airstrikes would catastrophically trigger uncontrollable wider regional instability engulfing global energy markets for decades. Notably, even Israel privately advised President Trump against authorizing premature attacks upon Iranian territory during closed-door consultations with Netanyahu's national security staff, according to multiple well-placed regional intelligence sources. Israel reportedly stated frankly through secure channels that Israel's forward multilayered missile defenses simply weren't robust enough throughout their southern and eastern sectors to absorb Tehran's certain massive retaliatory ballistic missile counterstrikes saturating national airspace. Israel also communicated clearly to the Oval Office that while Tel Aviv fundamentally backs revolutionary regime change sweeping Iran's streets, military decapitation strikes alone